XRP, we start with 1 hour chart. Okay, if we refer to our analysis, we mentioned we're looking for, we want to see first of all how deep this one can go, and even we mentioned how we can look for buy or sell. Okay, now as you can see, the price drop a bit more, and now we want to see whether this one can continue and break this low or not. Because we have been we have been looking for this indifferently. One of the option was we have been looking for this. After we get this down move, we mentioned maybe this one can retest, return to this top, at least to this trend line. And the another option was we mentioned maybe we can put this one as they're expanding and then we expect the price to break this low. Okay, now the thing is how deep this one can go, whether this one can continue and retest this low or not, because this is what we are more interested. And even if we move to 15 minutes, from what we can see, still we can expect this one to turn to a correction for continuation. Okay, now in this case, we start with the higher time frame with daily chart. You want to see what we have it. Okay, based on daily chart, still we consider this one as a big correction in relative to this move. That's why we mentioned if this one give us one more drop, then from there any reversal we can look for buy, because we mentioned at least we want to break this low, which is 0.34. Okay, now in this case it's better we move to forward chart, because based on forward chart we have been looking for this. Okay, and this is what we have been looking for in our analysis, and when the price was within this correction we have been looking for this to put in relative to this. That's why we mentioned we can expect the price to drop, and this is what we get. Okay, the only things was here when the price was within this move, we highlight on this. Okay, that's why we mentioned maybe this one can return to be part of this correction. And right now we're looking the best option. We are more interested. We're looking at this correction. Okay, as expanding in relative to this, which I highlight based on 1 hour chart. That's why we want the price to at least break this low. Then from there, if there is a continuation or reversal. All right, and as we mentioned, if the best option is if you want to look for buy, if there is a continuation, at least with the breakout of this low. Okay, but with just 0.39. But if you want to, because as I mentioned, this is what we're looking for, this correction. The only times you can consider this one is finished and the next up move can break the top if the price drop to 0.34. But now the question is whether the price can drop before we get the reversal or not. If drop, it can give us better confirmation and we can look for buy with a better trade setup rather than the price reverse from here. Okay, by the way, right now we're looking for this to break this low. The first things we're looking for, which is 0.42. Then after that, we see whether we get the reversal or the price can continue to drop to this level, which is 0.39. Okay, now we want to see how we can trade it if we move to 1 hour chart. Okay, now because this is what we have been looking for. Right now, we are more interested. Okay, now if you want to look for buy, even we mentioned based on a different option, if this is the only move, because we have internal and then also we correction and also we have a divergence. And if this is the start of the up move, if you want to look for buy, the first things is we look for the breakout of this trend line. That's mean if we want to look for buy, we need to get the one sharp move with the breakout with a correction, a small flag. Then from there, we can look for buy with the breakout of the top. We start to manage it, whether there is a continuation or not. And if you want to look for sell, I don't think so you can get a really good sell setup, because if you want to look for sell, we need to get the correction for next move down, right? But the way it's moving, I don't think so we can get any good sell setup. But the only thing is we will be more interested if there is a continuation with the breakout of this low. Okay, by the way, right now we don't have any trade setup. The only thing is we want to see whether this one can form as expanding for one more drop or not. But right now we mentioned if there is a reversal, how we can look for buy. And if the price sharply move from here without giving us any correction, I don't think the best thing is we wait for the breakout of this trend line. For example, if we couldn't get any trade setup within this range, then after the breakout we can look for any correction of to look for buy. Having entry above the stops, it can be an option, but right now we are not going to suggest it in case this one turned to a deeper correction for one more drop. All right, that's why having entry above this stop I just leave it for the traders. By the way, we don't have any trade set up, and the only thing is we want to see whether there is a continuation for the price to break the price 0.39 and continue to 0.34 or not. This is what we are looking for. Anyway, we just follow the chart. The only thing is we want to see how deep this one can go. In this case, if I see any update or trade, then I will share. Thanks.